On this. So there he is, first president in 20 years to get a second term.
Yeah, that's right, Eamon. It's a significant victory for Emmanuel Macron because of what you've just stated, and also because he's the first president in the Fifth Republic, that is since, going way back to the early 1960s, to have been re-elected while in control of the government. And that is key, because at the moment he controls the French Parliament. And the reason why the papers this morning are saying things like un nouveau départ, a new departure, and then this one, big victory, but big challenges, because in a couple of months they're going to have French parliamentary elections. The Legislative Assembly, the kind of our equivalent of the House of Commons, is going to be they're going to go to the polls on that. And there's 577 seats in the French Parliament. At the moment he controls 263. To get an absolute majority you need 289. So for the last 5 years they've been doing little deals, legislation by legislation, to get their stuff over the line. But what they're saying is that the forecast here is that is going to be smashed. A snap poll yesterday after that result came out said 63% of the electorate want Macron to lose his majority in Parliament, which means that for the next 5 years it's going to be very difficult for him to get things done. And he's probably going to have to nominate a Prime Minister who's the head of government to come from another party. So in France they call that situation cohabitation, which means that effectively he's going to have a Prime Minister from another party, and the President is going to have to keep doing deals and working out how to get things done, and he's not going to get everything done that he wants to. For example, raising the retirement age in France to 65, really controversial, alienated a lot of left-wing support. He's talking about maybe a halfway house, okay, we'll raise it to 64, something like that. But it's going to be very difficult for Emmanuel Macron for the next 5 years.
Parliamentary elections are going to be difficult for Macron. They could be worse for Le Pen, couldn't they, despite her still getting around 40% of the vote yesterday?
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, she came out last night and said that she's going to fight on in the Legislative Assembly. And she may even stand in those elections too, which doesn't rule her out of running for president again in 5 years' time. But yeah, it is going to be difficult for her because of the system they use in the Legislative Assembly. It's a little bit similar to first past the post, not exactly, right? But essentially it marginalises the smaller parties. So it is going to be difficult for her in those elections. They're expecting the far left to do quite well. La France Soumise, who came very close third in the presidential election. Jean-Luc Mélenchon is their leader, but he's expected to play a significant part. He's already said, I want France to make me Prime Minister. So, Emmanuel Macron is not going to have everything his way. And for Marine Le Pen, those elections are going to be difficult because of the system they use. But she is expected to do much better than she has done recently. France is definitely waking up to a very divided country this morning. And if you actually look at the front of the, this is the Libération, this is a left-wing newspaper. It says, thanks, yeah, because the French went out to mobilise in their democracy and mobilise against the extreme right. So a lot of people voting for Emmanuel Macron yesterday because he wasn't Marine Le Pen, not because he was Emmanuel Macron.
OK, no left representation. Paul, thank you very much indeed. Let's find out why that is.